5 new AI videos weekly.
This week, AI goes wild with fashion, foxes, and funny comedy sketches.
I'm Jon Rogers.
And I'm Kai Turner.
Number one.
So first up, we have Dior Lotus Brûlant, an AI fashion film by... So I think this is a pretty straightforward fashion concept, and it's executed really well, and that's sort of what Nguyen Do is known for, having done this outside of AI and with a few executions within AI. And I think it's really exciting to look at something like this and think about it as a brand manager, as a marketing manager, and how you could just create something that's more, if you had a creative brief that you wanted to give to an agency, you could create something that really expresses the tone and the mood of the brand as part of that creative brief pretty easily using these tools.
Yeah, I'll riff on that idea of the creative brief. We're seeing a lot of uses of AI tools for that very purpose. I'm thinking of a company called Nex, N-E-X, who's creating a system for creating brand marketing assets. Now, these might not be final commercial usable assets, but they are a much faster, quick start to brand development than has been available in the past. And so absolutely, I could see these as pitch ideas, pitch concepts, internal ideation concepts. And as we've said before in this podcast, AI fashion is going to be one of the very earliest places that we see this, just because fashion is always really on the cutting edge of creative and trying to push boundaries.
Number two.
Our next video today comes from Daniel Barak, and it's a video really looking at an outdoor kind of wild space, playing with the idea called Lynx. And what I love about this is he really created an awesome mountain environment that's fun to play with. Lots of, they're using a lot of snow in a snowy mountain range, and it really shows, in traditional filmmaking, snowy environments are really hard to work in because of the color and the brightness and the reflections of the light. And this shows how AI can really work in that difficult lighting environment and create something beautiful in a much faster and probably quicker turnaround.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, and it shows that this is a short that works on its own. It's a dramatic and maybe sentimental little short, and it has a story behind it, a narrative behind it. But it's also very much that we're still at the experimental phase, and we're seeing what these tools can do. Again, I think Daniel's using Google's VO2, and part of this is a technical proof of concept to see if it can do things like snow and motion and bring it all together into a comprehensive narrative, which he does well.
Number three.
Next up, we have AI or Die Episode 3 by a trio of AI sketch comedy creators. And this was put on our radar by our friends at AI for Humans, the podcast. It's a comedy sketch show, and this is really what I live for when it comes to AI video. I think it's great. It works as sketch comedy, and it's really, knowing what goes into various sketch comedies and how many comics just have this notebook of ideas. AI really just allows you to have that idea, get it out there, and create something that's finished without having to go and I think a lot of these ideas die because they never make it into production. But now it's just, you can have the idea, execute it, and put it out there in a sketch comedy show like this, and this is just a great example of that.
Yeah, we've seen several examples, Kai, of kind of the sketch variety show sort of format, and I think that's going to be a popular format increasingly as we move forward in the space, because a lot of the AI videos still, because of hallucinations or it's still very kind of edgy, they don't really lend, when you watch it, okay, it works great as a 5-minute video, might work great as a 10-minute video, but it's hard to imagine it as a half-hour, hour-long, even a feature kind of length video. And so the sketch format works really well for containing and compartmentalizing shorter videos as we move on. And also, one last note about this, any video made by a creator named Mindwank has my attention. What a crazy place we're working in, where the creators we're talking about are named Mindwank.
Number four.
Our next video today comes from Henry Daubrez. I hope I pronounced that right, or Henry Daubrez, and it's called Kitsune. And it's just, I think this is probably my favorite AI video that I have seen to date, bar none. I think this is just amazing. It's done in the style of 90s sort of anime, Studio Ghibli animation. I also see a lot of classic Disney animation in this, and it's really just a story about two souls who are separated and have shared feelings of loneliness, as he describes in his summary of the video. He did this over the course of a month by himself, so it's about a one-man month to produce a 5-minute video. And this is so good, I would have no problem right this moment taking this into any big studio development team and pitching this as part of this video as part of the pitch process to sell this project in as a feature film. And when you think about 1 man month to produce a 5-minute video, if this were to become a feature film, that would be about 18 man months to make a feature. A traditional Pixar Disney animation might be thousands upon thousands of man months to make that. So make that comparison: 18 man months versus thousands to make a feature. So it really is, I think, a great example of the potential of what's coming, particularly in the animation space with AI video.
Yeah, I would second all of those points. I mean, it's a fantastic animation with no notes, as you might say, but it's also showing a certain level of maturity in the field, where I think the creators are now comfortable enough with the tools, and the tools have matured to the point that you can create these complete stories and not have to deal with the kind of AI jankiness that probably frustrates or has frustrated creators in the past from creating complete stories, or maybe just doing short executions or short examples. Now they can really tie all the different clips together, use all the different tools that you might need to use, and create a full and standalone story that works really well.
Number 5.
Finally, we have Des and Beth by Tobias Huber. This is a kind of dark romantic comedy with a twist at the end, and Tobias said that the challenge was, he had been seeing a lot of these sci-fi videos, or even the comedy videos that we pointed out that are short and sketch comedy like, and he wanted to challenge himself to create just a simple dialogue-driven scene that can be very hard to do with AI tools. So just a back and forth where you're going to focus on things like the lip sync, you're going to focus on things like the uncanny valley effect if people read faces more clearly than anything else. So if it's not right, if it's not lined up correctly, you're going to quickly get that dissonance. But I think he's he's done a really solid job here of creating a short sketch that is focused mainly on dialogue between two characters.
Yeah, I think this is an achievement in that it makes me care about these characters, and that's certainly that was his objective with this video, as he said, and it's something you haven't seen a lot of to date. And when the video sort of comes to an end, I'm hopeful to see a part 2, a part 3, a part 4 of this, because I actually love these characters a lot. I think there's a lot that they could develop here with this idea, and I want more story.
Thanks. That's it for this week. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe.
We'll see you next time.